Audio.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Speed Report. In this episode, we're coming from a different angle, not the PC version. We're here on console. We'll bring you footage of the test track and how we got here at the conclusion of the round of 12. As we know from watching the update show for this week, Habibi, Michael, Sam Cook, Frosty, Ghost Train, Back in Black, Beloved Car, and Dale Jr. all advanced to the round of 8. And it will leave Bibbly Bob, Woozy Emu, the White Hammer, Josh, the Best Game, all eliminated from contention, and they will join the Skitty Brave Wesley, Kung Fu Killer Zero Fan group that is battling all in the top 16. So that field of battle expands to include those drivers. We welcome you into the show. We have with us Frosty and Dale Jr., both who are a part of the series. They will be joining us up here in the studio. Thank you guys for joining us here in this late night, 11:30 Eastern. We appreciate it.
What's up? And Dale Jr., what's up, buddy?
And so, before we get started with the show, if you are not already, please hit that follow button, become a member of Twitch Monster27, the family, the community, and everything BRL. We also have some fun iRacing stuff, as iRacing is going to get ramped up here soon as well. Also join our YouTube handle, Stream Monster27, over on the YouTube side. Hit subscribe and those notifications so that every time there's a video posted like it was today, you will know about it. Let's get right into the show because we've got quite a bit to talk about, and while we are talking, we'll be playing the footage, the only footage that I ended up getting from the airfield race is footage of the race, and as we shadow our drivers. And I think it's probably best to start off talking about this round of 8, because we've got big name drivers in the round of 8 as this field kind of tightens up. So before we get into individual drivers, Frosty, what are your thoughts about the round of 8? How tense are things going to be headed into Homestead?
Well, to begin with things, when you look at the round of 16 and the round of 12, it was really just a game of survival. But now that we look into the round of 8, we have the big names, Michael, Habibi, Ghost Train, and then you have me, Dale, you, and a lot of others. Honestly, at this point, in my personal opinion, it's not just the best survival. You need to go out and you need to get the result if you want to make this Final Four round, and the intensity is huge going into this next double race.
100%, man. I agree. Dale, what are your thoughts? How intense do you think Homestead is going to be with the named drivers advancing? What do you think it's going to be like out there on the track? What are you feeling?
I'm actually honest that I made it this far. You know, coming out of retirement and stuff, I didn't see me making it to the round of 8. I'm actually surprised. So, you know, to see familiarity with Ghost Train, you, Frosty, Back in Black, you know, I'm worried about Habibi and everything, but going through this round, even though I've seen them, you know, make it before. You know, we got some, for me, unfamiliar tracks coming up. Homestead is a good track, but then I don't know what's after that, you know.
Yeah, I don't either know what's after that. I agree. I'm scared to see what that track even looks like. But anyway, I will say, to echo Frosty's words, I think he hit the nail on the head when it comes to, you know, beforehand having drivers, and we're not picking on anybody. We'll talk about some of these eliminated drivers, but we're seriously not picking on anybody. But we had you know, Bibbly Bob, who was a rookie. We had Woozy, who was a part of the series, and we had Skitty Brave, who got off to a really rough start. So did Wes, and then we had quite a few rookies. We had quite a few no-shows. The first 2 rounds weren't as intense, you know, they weren't as It was serious. You did have to, race and finish, but as long as you finished and you did pretty good, you were gonna be okay. But now it's really go time now, because everyone in here is capable of getting good finishes. They normally run up front or close to the front. They're able to survive. So kudos to everyone advancing. Let's see what you got. It's going to be very, very fun. And speaking of fun, let's go ahead and talk about, we have to talk about this guy who seems to just track down victory lane all the time. That's the 48 of Habibi. 6 wins, guys, on the season. He has 7 top 3s, 8 top 5s. He has not DNF'd a single race. Dale, do you think he's the favorite to win a championship right now?
I would say he's in the top 3, to be honest. With the people that are in the final or in round of 8, he's got competition with Strain. He's got competition with Back to Black. But I don't see Back to Black making it past this round, to be honest. So if he could make it past this round, I think he'd be well on his way to the championship.
Frosty, as a broadcaster for us for the series last season and in season 1, we've seen Habibi go on these win streaks and win a lot. We know he has set the record for the most wins in a BRL season, and yet he has 0 championships. So, Frosty, are you a believer that the 48 can get it done this season? Or are you waiting to see more in the final round?
I think he gets this one most definitely. Habibi is one of the strongest drivers, but we saw season in and season out, it just never came together. But this season, he has shown his consistency, and he is really bringing 484 racing with Ghost Train way up to the higher standard. As we saw ECE starting to close in on them, but Habibi continues to strengthen that team. I think 6 wins, man, that's insane. And all the stats that he puts up, going top in and top out and losing it by just so much, I think that this is finally the year that he puts those stats together and he gets the clinch.
He's going to have his work cut out for him, because this guy right here is always finding himself in the position that Ghost Train was in last season. And that was in a close second. Now, what we saw last season was Ghost Train able to win the championship. Habibi won the majority of the races. Ghost Train was able to win the championship. Guys, how serious should we take Michael going into this next couple rounds? Is he a threat for the championship? He's got 7 top 3s, 7 top 5s, only 1 DNF, and he does have a win on the series.
I would say yes, because the 2 races and stuff that the BB didn't win, Michael did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The 22, we know that he's a rookie in this series, but he has been, if not the most consistent, one of the most consistent guys in the series. And I know that he's not winning every single week, but you always see him right up there in the pictures. We're watching him right now, right there with Les. So yeah, I think that as 48, in my opinion, is the favorite. I would definitely look out for that number 22 ECE for knocking on the door.
Yeah, we know that Habibi has been here before, and majority of the guys in this top 5 have been here before, except for Michael. What type of pressure do you think Michael is feeling right now in terms of this round and if he's able to advance the next round?
I think the gloves have to come off and he has something to prove. You know, he's got 2 wins, on, I think one was on road course and one was on a oval, but these tracks coming up, he has to step it up and everything. That's why I think he feels.
I'm going to actually go on the contrary with this. I've been talking to Michael a lot over the last 2 weeks, specifically over this last week, and I was kind of trying to test the water to see how he was feeling about everything. And this guy is, even though you can see him going hand in hand with Habibi, he is one of the most calm, cool figures that I've met in this community in a long time. For him, if he was me, oh yeah, pressure crazy, like me in the 23, I'm all about the pressure. But this guy has the mentality to go out there and get the job done, and I think he's got no problems this round.
Right. We'll keep a close eye on Michael. He's doing an excellent job at his rookie campaign and has to be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. All right, then we move on to our third place driver. So y'all gonna have to help me out here because the third place driver is none other than myself, Sam Cook. Has not had this type of statistics that both Michael and Habibi have had, yet finished that last round in the third position in points. Guys, last 2 seasons, back-to-back trips to the Final Four. Last season he finished second, or I finished second in the point standings to Ghost. How serious are you guys taking the 18?
I don't know, I'm kidding. I would say that your team is definitely one of the underdog groups, because as you mentioned, the statistics are not as solid right there, but we know that you time to time again with all the experience you've had, getting up there, and even last season, being able to fight Ghost Train for that title. I think that even though you're about the top headline right now, I know that you're going to be one of those underdogs. If you do make it to the Final Four, you're going to be fighting all that kind.
Dale, you have known me for the absolute longest person. The longest person has known me in this league. You've known me even before Beloved. I wouldn't say in this league, but in League Racing, a league that I've owned and ran. How serious are you taking the chances the 18 has to get to championship victory lane?
I would have to agree with Frosty. I mean, you definitely are the underdog, coming into this. But for me, knowing you as I have, the strength that you have is you take advantage of your practice time and everything to get familiar with the track. So that will help you come up with your practice time and stuff to get ready for the upcoming tracks that we have. And that's a good quality to have because it's good to get your confidence up of how you drive these next 4 races in this round to get you ready to see if you can advance.
Well, I'll tell you, this practice is going to be key, definitely at Homestead, but definitely this whole round. None of these tracks are as easy as they look and are going to require a lot of finesse because the back half of the schedule for this round are 2 bigger tracks that require a lot of finesse to get through over a long period of time. We don't expect a lot of cautions in that, so
isn't one
a
of them
lot
to
yes.
Heck
yes.
yes.
So that's going to be a very, very grueling task. Let's talk about our next driver, and that is the Frost himself up here. And so, Dale, we'll take the primary on this, and then we'll talk to Frosty and see how he's feeling. But Frosty has had a decent season so far. Only 1 DNF for the year. He has to win the award for the best paint schemes in the series, I have to say. With just the absolute awesome schemes week after week.
That means
It's a lot of time and energy, you can tell, in those schemes.
but
right. So yeah, seven top 5s for Frosty. He's been able to be extremely consistent. Dale, if he can keep this consistency up, could he be that underdog that's able to grab that last spot in the Final Four?
I would say yes, and it would be a good battle between you and him to see who makes it through this round. You know, which I would actually pay to see and everything, how you two work your way through after Homestead. You know, Homestead is an oval. The only thing you gotta watch out for in Homestead is the inside tire barriers around the track. When you get to the road courses and stuff, you gotta make right and left hand turns. Circuit of the Americas is very tight and we're gonna be spread out, so there's not gonna be a lot of cautions. That unknown track that's in between Homestead and Circuit of Americas, I don't know anything about because I don't even know which track it is. So, if I had to flip a coin, it's a 50-50 judgmental scale. I'll take even pay for both of you and wait until the end of this round to make my decision.
I mean, by the end of that round, I'm pretty sure the decision will be made. I will say that for Frosty, I look at that consistency, man. And to have 7 top 5 says you're doing something right. Only one DNF means he's taking care of the race car, and that's how you maximize opportunities. Taking care of the race car, not being flustered by any negative situations that happen out there on the track, being able to overcome those. And I think that he is a lot closer than I am, to be honest, to getting the victory lane. So we'll see if he's able to, you know, keep that consistency going. And since we have him here to take the pressure off, so he doesn't have to monologue about himself, let's just ask him a few questions. Frosty, how are you feeling headed into Homestead?
Honestly, for me, the mentality that I know I have to go in is if I do not win this race, it's a disappointment. Because I know the consistency has been helpful. And I mean, God, compared to last season, woo, hands in the air. But when we get to this part of the season, I think that nothing short of a success is crucial. When I go into here, knowing that I didn't even make it out of the round of 16 a year ago, going into the round of 8, being able to know that I surpassed my team, which is crazy, and being able to be in this spot, there is a little bit of pressure, but I know that we just need to get the job done and it's back to work like every single week. There is nothing different about how I need to use my mentality this week than any other. Just gotta keep bouncing out those finishes, but really hoping for some burnouts, man. Yes.
Yeah, man, that would cap off an amazing 2 rounds that you've had so far, being able to get to victory lane, and maybe score a few more of those top 3s. Do you think that you can get through this and get to the final round having not won a race? How crucial do you think winning is going to be for your team's success?
Huge. Once again, I think that anything short of a success is very crucial. Because you take the people like the stables in this league, you have yourself, Dale, Habibi, Ghost Train, they are absolute stables. And you know that a lot of these guys can get the job done. I'm almost like a rookie. I'm not classified as a rookie with the stripe, but I am really new to this. So going into this, knowing that we have had the finishes before, I think that this round is going to be incredibly important because, say, for example, if he's a random name, say Bentley made it through, and he wins, and then continues belting out finishes, he'll go out to that Final Four then advancement. So I think that really the way that everything shapes out, we just need to keep doing your job properly, and hopefully Lady Luck's understand it.
We'll take you off the hook with that, man. We appreciate those comments, and we wish you the best, man. I wish you the best. I look forward to battling you out there on the track. It should be fun. Should be a lot of fun.
You too, man. Heck yeah.
All right, man. We're not going to spend too much time on this one, but we will talk about the 9 of Back in Black. Definitely an up and down season. He started off really hot, especially after Daytona. Doing a really good job of getting good finishes. Back in Black with ends around with 4 top 3s, 4 top 5s, only 1 DNFs. Definitely taking care of the race car. In the same token, however, we've noticed how he has started to lose that momentum as the league has, or the schedule, as the season has gone by. What does he need to do to regain that momentum that he started off with? Because we look at the team points and we can tell the type of start that he had was strong, him and his teammate, who we've already talked about. What does he personally need to do to regain that momentum?
I think he needs to be more confident in everything and not let his teammate overshadow him. Right now, I think his teammates actually done better than him, to be honest. I mean, I think he's lost confidence in his car.
Honestly, for me, also to shadow what Dale's saying, but in a little bit of a different contrast, I think that he needs to reshape his temper, honestly. And you know I'm biased, but with Back in Black, we saw him at the beginning of the year, just like us, confident, ready to win these races, being solid. But as the year goes on, you can take this from an analyst perspective or a driver's perspective. That 9 car, you can tell when he gets upset, it hits him pretty hard, and you've seen the amount of carnage that there's been, especially in these recent weeks, going back to even Indianapolis road course. So I think for him, the best thing now is that he has the talent underneath his skull, but he just needs to keep working towards keeping himself, the confidence needs to be there, the respect needs to be there, and the drive to win. I don't think he has right now, but I know that it's inside of him. He just needs to keep working.
I agree 110% with everything that you guys have just said right now, especially you, Frosty. About the 9. He started off hot, and one thing I noticed was the difference between Indianapolis, Indy GP, those early races, and now is that if you notice during the races, he was extremely focused. You didn't hear a lot from him. He didn't say much. He was focused on the racetrack. He was focused on the race each week. And I think the results paid off, but this has been a problem consistently from Back in Black when it comes to racing. Things that myself, Beloved, even Fractured Chain, Speedy, and back in KMR, many drivers have told him, you cannot lose your focus on the racetrack. When he begins to lose his focus, he begins to slip, he begins to make mistakes, and then he ends up battling for 90th instead of battling for a 3rd place or a top 3. And also knowing the boundaries, like you said, Frosty, knowing the boundaries and knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when you have to accept, you know, that loss, if you will, when it comes to give and take. We've noticed here lately, there's been a lot of take early in races, not a lot of give. It's created some frustrations. It's definitely created rivals. And you're in the round of 8, headed to an oval. The last thing you need is a rival right now. Now, he is pretty fast, or so he claims at Homestead, so we will have to see what the 9 can do on the racetrack.
Yeah, we saw him in the qualifier. He had the speed, for sure.
Definitely. Will he have the focus?
I'm waiting to see which one shows up at the track. I'm waiting to see if he's actually going to race or if he's just showing up to say I'm accountable. You know?
Well, paint scheme.
Yeah.
I
mean,
we'll see how many dents you have in the back bumper with his name on it will determine which one showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, let's move on to our next driver, and that is Beloved. Last season, Frosty, if you remember, a favorite to advance to the Final Four, missed it by only a few points. But we'll start with Dale. How surprised are you that Beloved has been as solid as he has this season?
Well, he's done a little bit better than me. I'm not surprised that he made it. I'm glad that he did. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of him, though. You know, he's been a top 5, top 6 driver, and I think he needs to push that up just a little bit. Especially if he wants to make it out of this next round. So, I don't really think a top 5 or a top 6 is going to cut it. Where he might be a little short again like he was last season.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's had a bit of a rough start to the season with 3 DNFs, but has recently shaped things up and now is keeping things clean. That's really, really important when we're talking about competing for a championship. Frosty, your thoughts on Beloved and his progression from season 1 being eliminated extremely early to season 2 almost making the final 4 and then now solidly advancing into the round of 8?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. He has been showing a lot of consistency as of recent, and knowing that he's sneaking into these rounds, I think that he is nothing short of a threat. Beloved, he's shown, again, last season he was so close, and now this season he is right back up into that position. I agree, I think we need to see a little bit more results, but he is on track to follow up his great season with another good statistic. So I look forward to seeing what he can do.
Definitely, and I tell you what, it really helps in the team perspective with the team points battle to have that support out there on the racetrack. And Beloved and I have been working close together trying to improve our lap times and make sure that we can remain competitive out there on the racetrack. So here's to CMR, hoping that we can be in contention, if not in the team points battle, at least on the racetrack as a team, so that we can continue to advance and try and get ourselves where we need to be. Hopefully final 4, that's our goal. So yeah, let's try to we'll keep our eye on Beloved and what we can do there. Let's talk Dale. Yeah, let's see. Let's restart this race because Dale ended up DNFing.
Yeah. I did after the 3rd race. I did pretty good the first 2.
Yes, you did. So Frost, this is your first time running with Dale. What do you think about what you've seen so far, and where do you think this is going to carry Dale as we through this round?
First thing first, he's the most popular driver. Don't vote for him. But Dale has been very smooth with how he drives, and I have not known him for long, but he takes how nice he is honestly off the racetrack and contributes that to being aggressive but also clean on the racetrack. So honestly, Dale moving out of this round was not much of a surprise to me. I've been really happy to work with him so far this season, and I look forward to seeing what he brings to the table in this next one. But I think that it's all smiles out of the ABA team.
I've known Dale a long time, and I have to say, coming into this season, I was very low expectations of what Dale would bring to the table this season. And I don't mean that as an insult. Let me finish, Dale.
That man almost won a very third race. Come on.
That's the thing. So I'm getting to that. Normally with Dale, because he raced in KMR, and he went, I would say, about 39 seasons without a win. And it is pulling for him to get the victory lane. I mean, absolutely pulling for him to get the victory lane. But generally how it works is he would load into the race, and lap 1, turn 1 of the Great American Race would be where he would generally end his run.
Oh.
And Dale knows I'm not lying.
I like how you always bring up the past and everything when it comes to Daytona. Come on, I mean, I have a tendency to rookie lap 1. I'm just as Chase when he goes to Charlotte Roval. I mean, come on.
I mean, it's just how important that race can be, and it is, you know?
And it just wasn't Daytona. I mean, Super Speedway, when it came to I had my issues at Talladega. I'd have an issue on a restart, and the trouble would be over. I'd be out again. So, I mean,
yeah, it was so. Needless to say, it's been a rough start. And that's a big momentum builder, especially in this track. But when I saw Dale racing at Daytona, the aggression that he had and how he almost won that race, he survived the entire race, all 100 laps, the overtime laps, and was pushing to try and win that race. When he was leading coming to the white flag, I said, this is a whole new Dale right here. This isn't the same Dale. This is a new Dale. And he's carried that momentum all the way through the season. And that's what has been so impressive for me. I definitely say an underdog, obviously, when you compare his statistics and things to the drivers that he's got to compete against. Him and Beloved almost identical in standings. But when you go further up, Back in Black, Ghost Train, Frosty, Dale's really going to have his hands full in trying to compete with these guys on the racetrack. He's definitely going to have to step it up a little bit and be ready to take advantage of opportunities, mistakes that other drivers make. Try to get the best finishes he can be, but he also has to stay out of trouble, which is what, unfortunately, he was unable to do at the airfield, picking up his third DNF on the season. But if he can stay out of trouble and keep that car clean, I definitely feel that he can be a contender for possibly making it into the next round. He's really got to fight hard, but everyone at this point is a contender because we're all sitting at 0. So we'll see what Dale can do, but I think even if he doesn't make it, he has to feel that this season is a success. And since he's here, I'm not going to sit here and be mean and just talk junk about him the whole time. I'm going to actually ask him, so that he can talk junk about himself. Dale. So, how are you feeling coming into? Oh my gosh, that's how you DNF'd. Good Lord, have mercy! What in the world, man?
Yeah. That's how I DNF'd on the first lap, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done." So, yeah, I needed a concussion right away. So, but the way I'm feeling is. Ow, I gotta see this. Ow, this doesn't look good. Oh. I think it was, I don't know, was I going to the fucking garage or what was I doing? Anyway. If I don't make it to the next round, I remember that concussion protocol there. Anyway, I've got to be thankful for making it to the next round. If I don't make it to the final round, watch out season 2 for me when I come back, because I think it's going to be, coming out of retirement, I wanted to see what I was getting myself into, and I actually am pretty glad that I did. So, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of this next round.
We can look at statistics all night. You never know what can happen on the racetrack, and how things can unfold. And so I'd say, man, keep your head down, keep digging. You'll be fine, and we'll let what happens play out. One person we did not talk about that's highlighted on our screen is the GOAT, our defending champion, our current champion, driver of the 84, 484, a lot of 4s and 8s, Ghost Train. He is our defending champion. Last season, he had very much a similar season. Frosty, you broadcasted him, you've watched him. Is he still a threat for the championship this season?
Absolutely. He has been here for so long, and we've seen what he can do time and time again. When he gets down to crunch time, Ghost knows how to get the job done, and I think we're going to see nothing short of that once again. You can see him following right up with Little Habibi, I think that it would be a no-brainer if we see him into the final round. He just needs to keep being consistent and keep that car out of trouble, especially as we go into Homestead here. But yeah, hands down, and I think that he is going to be one heck of a good threat.
Those trains sometimes gets lost in the fold because he's very quiet. He doesn't have a demonstrative driving style. Takes what you give him, but he likes to hide in the shadows. If he's a snake, he'll get. If he was a snake, he would get you because you look and he's not there, and next thing you know, he's up there battling for the lead. Going to be a big question as to whether he can overcome Habibi's season that we've had thus far, but finishing second at Airfield definitely gets you in the right, and so we'll see what he has at Homestead.
I think he does the same and everything as he did last season to win the championship, though. Habibi might come in a little overconfident and stuff, and then go steals the show like he did last season.
Yeah, and I look forward to touching on that as we get closer to that final round, because obviously right now, again, the consistent theme is winning, you advance, winning, you advance, win the race, you advance. And so when you advance, when you win early, like Habibi has consistently done, you basically play with house money. You know, you DNF, what difference does it make you advance? You don't show up, what difference does it make you advance? And so it allows you to take chances that other drivers are probably not going to take for the sake of their season and for the sake of their, for the sake of their race. But when you get to that final round, there's no more winning, you advance. You actually have to be solid. You have to take advantage of opportunities. You have to be smart with what you're doing. Ghost was able to do that, and so then he was able to win the championship. So now the question is, will Habibi and these other drivers be able to do the same? Overcome that pressure to be able to win the title? We will have to see. So out of our list, we won't touch too much on the drivers that were obviously eliminated, but I will ask this question: out of the drivers that were eliminated, Billy Bob, Woozy, Whitehammer, Josh was on that list. He did not show up at all in the final, in that round. Which one of those drivers had the most disappointing season?
Billy Bob.
Yeah,
I thought he had potential and stuff to. I would say he had more determination than what his outcome was. From what every week he showed up. When we went to, I think it was Indianapolis GP. He fought hard to get back on the lead lap. He fought with me to get back on the lead lap constantly. So, to find out that he didn't make it to the next round, I think it really shattered coming to the, trying to make it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because I remember, specifically from the Homestead qualifier, I had never known this dude before. I just saw a bunch of nice, flashy colors with a 14. I was like, all right, let's rock. And off of the bat, at the Homestead qualifier before the season started, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy he's legit. And I think that it has just not been his season. Unfortunately, that has impacted him. But and again, people like Woozy, still a disappointment to see what happened to the season of the bottom this year. I thought it would be a lot further than he did, and I think that it was definitely a tough break.
Speaking of Woozy, if he's watching this, I do owe him an apology on the second race of qualifier at Airfield. I actually DNF'd him on that, and I do apologize.
We appreciate your good sportsmanship, Dale, and I'm pretty sure he accepts your apology there. I would say, Bibbly Bob, But one thing the reason why I'm going to say the White Hammer over Bibbly Bob is that I don't know, Bibbly Bob, this is his first season, he's a rookie. And so because of the lack of knowledge of driving style, ability, skill level, I tend to lean toward the White Hammer, and here's why. Besides the fact that I've known the White Hammer quite some time, I really do feel that if the White Hammer could have showed up to some of these races, that he definitely could have been a threat to advance. A lot of the tracks we're going to are tracks he's been to before, and one thing about Hammer is that he's aggressive. And not only is he aggressive, but when he's ran a track before and he learns the little nuances of how to get around the racetrack, that next season or that next visit, he is exponentially faster and can challenge many drivers in the field to get solid finishes. And so the fact that the White Hammer, for whatever reason, we obviously know circumstances, but it was real disappointing because I thought this season was going to be the season that he was going to break through and show more of the White Hammer that I'm used to seeing, the one that's battling for championships and battling for victory lane, more so than the one that's battling for 18th, back in the back. The White Hammer has a lot of talent, a lot of skill, a lot of ability, and I feel that this season was an absolute waste. You never know what next season's gonna hold, and it may be a situation where you have to learn tracks all over again. Perfect opportunity this season to have won, especially with the strength of the field this season. So I definitely say the White Hammer, but we'll see how he handles the rest of this, whether he decides to continue to show up at all, whether he builds his position to some of these drivers in the hot seat. And so that's what I want to talk about now, the battle for the top 16. Skitty Brave, Wesley, Kung Fu, Zero, all in the top 16 right now. Hyundai, Selmo, Josh, Ennard Caesar, all in the hot seat. So by the end of this round, what do you think that battle is going to look like? Who's going to be winning the battle? As we know, Bibbly Bob, Woozies, the White Hammer were all added to that battle. And then we have the drivers outside the top 16. Who's your favorite to be winning that battle? And who's going to drop into that hot seat?
Frosty.
Well, now this one is going to be a little bit of a surprise, especially to those who have been in the series for a while. But let's start with the winner. I've known this guy for a very long time. It's been years. And I know that he has only been here for a little bit of time, but I know exactly what he's capable of. And I'm going to say C. Elmo is one of those guys that is able to sneak his way into the top 16. Specifically because this guy, at the tracks that he's not the best at, he will learn and do everything he can to establish the best position he can, just like Ghostrain in a way. And at his good tracks, you sure as heck know that he'll be there. So I think that we saw that in, I believe he went to Mazda with us, the one with the big old hill. And if it wasn't for Zero Fan getting into him, then C. Elma could have had a podium right there. So I would say that he's one of those people that I personally have an eye out for. And other people, like you mentioned, those two are already in the top 16. We have Zero Fan. We know him from Geico. He is definitely a well-known driver. Wesley in the paintbrush racing car. He's also pretty solid. So I think it's going to be a great battle. But people like C. Elmo, man, you don't really know who he is yet. Because he is the rookie, but he is definitely going to be strong. Trust me.
I'm glad you corrected that for me with C. Elmo, so now I know instead of just killing his name. My bad, C. Elmo. All right, Dale, what you got?
I wanted to see this battle intensify with Skitty Brave and Wesley. See if they show up and create that rivalry that I think seems to be missing a lot out of these top team drivers. C. Elmo, yeah, you know, he's only a, you know, we've only seen him what, 2 races, maybe 3, maybe 2 at the most. So I think Speedy Braves. I like to see Speedy Braves do some real more intrigue damage.
Yeah, my question: when Speedy Brave will get to victory lane? I mean, he has been knocking on the door, and it just has not answered yet. Let's ask this question: how big of an influence or game changer will these battles for the top 16 be? We've seen drivers like Zero and CLMO, as you have mentioned, Kung Fu even, and also we cannot forget the return of Inner Caesar. These guys have had success either this season so far or in the past in BRL. We've seen these drivers compete at a high level. How much of an impact on this battle for the championship?
I'm afraid that their battle's going to affect with the round of 8. I don't want to point out a certain driver, but I almost didn't make this round because of a certain hot seat driver, you know? But it'll help ratings and everything because they've got their battle versus our battle. So, I mean, we can't draw from one versus the other. And I think that's what intensifies this season.
Yeah, we can definitely see how both of these battles, in a way, could be diverse. Because it's like the big boys going up into the boxing vote for this championship versus those who are fighting to survive. But in a way that I think that these could easily outweigh each other, because while we're sitting here going for a race win, you can see guys like Zero Fan, for example. He came out of the shadow realm, man, coming out and getting that top 3 in airfield. I think that we can see a lot more of that the more hot season rookies we see get the opportunity to race, and I think that it is going to make quite an effect on our season.
Yeah, that was my thoughts exactly. Stealing, you know, we don't know, like, one of these drivers get the opportunity to steal a win away, how that affects the points, or steal positions away from these guys that are in the battle for the top 3, or in the battle to try to get to the top final 4, because every position matters, you know, every position by points matters. And so you definitely can see an influence by some of these drivers who are trying to advance their position and lose positions, lose points because of not being able to overcome 1 or 2 of these hot seat drivers. So, or out of drivers that have been eliminated. So I really think this could really play a part with the drivers that have been eliminated and the skill level that they have shown so far. We've definitely seen that they are on a very elevated skill level compared to what we have seen in seasons past. So definitely something to keep your eye out on. And Frosty, I got a question for you. I just thought of it. I'm kind of curious to hear what your answer is. When you compare the drivers we had last season, that, you know, eliminated drivers, hot seat drivers, Hellcat, Demon, Josh, you can say Josh, Crazy FN, and a few others, compared to who we have now, how would you compare that group? Which group is the stronger group from what you've seen so far?
Honestly, I think that there is, just like what we were just talking about with the 2 different battles, there are certain aspects that you could think about that make the 2 alike, but also I have seen, again, I was not here every week last season, but I have stood up every race so far, and honestly, the aggression that I've seen out of this specific groups of hot seats, I think is definitely elevated from what we saw last season, because from a commentary perspective, I loved it. I thought it was really cool, but this season, I think that it's been upped just that much, and I'd say, I mean, this is a weird joke, but say the class of Blitz 2022 rookies, man. I think that these guys are definitely the real deal. And going from whether they move on from here after this season to continue into racing next season, I know that these guys are definitely going to be threats in their future.
Yeah, class of 2022, I like that. I agree with that 100%. And, you know, from what I've seen thus far, I do believe that, that this field is a little bit stronger than the last field. But we'll see how this continues on through the rest of the season. It's been an awesome show so far. This weekend, we will be at Homestead. Will we have a broadcaster? I do not know. Hopefully not, if I have to do it. Hopefully we'll be the whole time from the car. But if not,
I would like to
obviously-
make a recommendation.
Oh.
If we can recommend a next, like with the group that we have racing right now, I would like to have a second season before you decide to make a change to iRacing.
Oh, what?
I want another season at this. This is awesome.
Oh, well, Dale, a lot goes into that, and right now that's not my focus. Right now my focus is on season 3. In the off season, I will figure all of that out. But I'm glad you're having fun. I'm glad you're having fun. This is awesome. I have enjoyed every season of BRL. I cannot lie to you. It has been a ton of fun. I've enjoyed every season. The only thing that would make it just a little bit better is to have a broadcaster. So if anyone knows somebody who's a a good broadcaster. I mean, anybody, I can pull anybody out the street to broadcast. I want someone who's a good broadcaster to broadcast the remainder of the season. Hit me up either on Twitter or hit me up on my Xbox account or whatever. I'm having open interviews. I do have an interview set up. I need to talk with someone about it. Hopefully we'll have him do it. But if not,
Speaking of
please
interviews,
hit me
I
up.
need a teammate.
You see, now
There you go.
I can switch manufacturers. I don't have a problem.
That's something that we
Well, let's get off of here before we start hearing negotiations for contracts going on here. I want to thank Dale and Frosty. Thank you guys for joining me up here in the studio. It's been a pleasure as we prepare for Homestead 11:30 Eastern. Weather could be possible, so bring your rain gear. We'll definitely see weather influence the race. How will that influence the championship battle? We'll see soon.
Yes.
Until then, Sam Cook, we'll see you at Homestead, Miami.
Bye.
Bye.